Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we always have like a commentary.
Yeah.
I want it just a little bit like that. Okay, we good. Good morning, everybody. Don't worry, that's not our intro.
Well, I would hope not. I'm not paying attention.
Ugh.
I know, right? It's not cold. And it's melting quick. Oh, dude. Oh my god. So I went to go get the coffee.
Hold
at
on.
Lincoln's.
Could this be part of this?
Yeah, I guess okay.
You ready?
All the material we can get, right?
Oh, here we go. Okay, you know what? Tell me your fucking bullshit story. We'll go. We can put this. I can separate this, and we'll put it something separate, like you said.
No.
Okay, then fine. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, are you doing it or am I doing it?
I think
You could do it since you haven't fucking been here.
Yeah, I know, but I
I've been
think
holding
I did the
down.
last one, didn't I?
Oh, I don't fucking remember. The last one was the one I hated. No, last one that I liked it.
Yeah,
That was
because
the
we were
organic one.
bullshitting. Yeah. Here
Oh
go.
yeah, you did do it.
I was gonna say you want to rock paper scissors for it, but we could do
I'll
it.
just do it.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Go. Stop you, Brett. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Try it again. Do it again. Take 2.
Is it my show or is it
It's
gonna be
our
yours?
show. Go for it.
No,
Yep,
but
yep.
am I gonna take lead or you
There
want?
you go. Go
I don't
ahead.
care
Take your
either
lead.
way.
Take your leadership.
All right, cool. Good morning, everybody. I'm Hitler.
Oh my
I'm
god.
taking over this.
Take 3. I actually might want to keep these intros because they're so funny.
Right?
That way
we
people
go
can
forever
see.
on just the intros.
Like, it
and then we
takes
take
us-
forever on the outros talking.
Yeah.
It take us forever to start it up, and it take us forever to fucking finally say goodbye.
So,
All right, here we go.
ready, go.
Oh, jeez, never stop what? Gonna get that sun. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is the Can't Quit My Day Job podcast. I'm Brock here with.
Brad McDaniel, how you doing? Running a red light because I didn't realize it, but we're good.
It's okay. We need to get there.
It turned green right as I drove past it, so we're good.
So I just want to start off by telling everybody how sorry I am that Brett left us and got fired, and we couldn't put up a podcast for the last week. But we're fucking here now,
I'm back.
and
Pow!
he's got some stuff he wants to share. He was in San Fran.
Cisco.
So, yeah, he was in Cisco, over in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
He was at the bar here.
I was at Rice-A-Roni factory, being the San Francisco street.
Ooh.
Streets.
I did say that.
They said street. I was like, what?
Come on now.
Oh,
Now, how
man.
did I not forget that stupid commercial in the
Ah,
fucking
dude.
grocery store every goddamn
Oh my god, you just triggered me because I know like that's such a it's something that in the 90s San Francisco or Rice-A-Roni was so big in the commercial, right?
Yeah.
Dude, this kid's gonna get a shout out right off the bat. So I had a worker that worked with me. He was his name is Gabriel.
Gay balls.
This guy was like 23, I think, 22, 23 years old. Never heard of Metallica.
No, get the fuck out of here.
Never heard of Metallica. I was like, oh yeah, like Metallica. And he's
What?
like, what's that? And
No.
I was like, Metallica.
Come on.
And like I said it slower so he'd understand. He's like, I don't know what you're saying. And I was like, you don't know of Metallica? And he's like, no. And I was like, it's a band. And he's
No,
like,
I feel like that's.
no, because I thought the same thing. I was like, maybe he's fucking with me. Maybe this kid's fucking with me. And I was like, bro, Metallica. Like, you know, Metallica. And he's like, no, I've never heard of them. And I was like, okay, now it's time to fucking find out what this kid does know. I was like, do you know of Ozzy? And he's like, yeah, I know Ozzy. And he's like, I've heard of Ozzy. I don't know what he does, or I don't know his music, but I know he's a singer. And I was like, okay. And I was like, you know Kiss? And he's like, yeah, I know of Kiss. He knew of Kiss. He didn't know what Kiss did. He just knew of Kiss. And so I was like, well, okay, so it went Kiss and Ozzy, and then it went Metallica, because like they were generations.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'd never heard of Metallica.
That's insane. But
It's-
then again, it's like.
But then I was like, okay, do you know of Napster? And he's like, never heard of it. And I was like, what the
That's
fuck,
different. You
dude?
can't throw that on.
Napster was
I
what
get
made
that.
Metallica big. So that's why I was like, I was trying to go and put the two together. Be like, okay, well, when Napster came out, that's
and
when
he grew up in
Metallica.
San Francisco, or?
Yeah. And so then I was like, well, have you heard of LimeWire? And he's like, yeah, it's the downloading thing. And I was like, God damn it! I was like,
Yeah.
Napster is the first thing.
Yeah, I know. That was, came with what? Yeah, that's funny though. That.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, but more about Gabriel later.
Wait, how the fuck does he know about LimeWire, actually? Because he's younger than us, and LimeWire was right around when we were still young.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's
it gave out.
but Napster came before LimeWire.
No,
So that's why I was trying to
how
get
does
an
he
idea.
know about LimeWire? It's like, what the fuck? You shouldn't even know about that.
No.
Anything, you'd be like, yeah, Pirate Bay.
Oh, yeah. But that's where, like, I was trying to find, like, okay, where is this kid going to actually know about pop culture shit that I
should have
grew
been
up
like,
with?
oh, Lady Gaga. Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That seems to be the generation these days.
That was yesterday.
But I'm not even mad at Lady Gaga because I fucking love that movie, A Star Is Born. I don't give a fuck. It's a great movie.
But that was Friday.
Bradley Cooper.
That guy blew my mind on a Friday. Right? As we were going to the last two stops, they're right next door to each other, he hit me with he didn't know what Metallica was. So, yeah, that was insane. But spent the whole week in San Francisco, working, driving a semi, driving a 28-footer. It was a really crazy fucking week. I went up there thinking, oh, you know, be a co-pilot, ride in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
That
would
would
have been awesome.
That would have been fucking sweet
Oh,
to
dude,
actually
I
be
would've
with
been
someone
like,
that knew what to
hell
do. Yeah. But no, that's not how they did me. They did me with, hey, you're running a route. This guy's route needs to be ran. He had a baby, and he's out till next week, so you're covering his route. And like they're like, oh, like the first day they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna guarantee that you're gonna be in a semi. And I'm like, how can you guarantee? Well, we got like 6 semis and 5 fucking Class A drivers. So guess what? You're in a fucking semi.
Pull out your license, buddy, and look at it.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You picked the winner.
We don't know any. They did not even know anything about me. They only knew my name because of paperwork.
Yeah.
And these guys were like, "Yeah, you're driving in in the city, in a semi, all week."
For those of you that don't know what San Francisco is, it's a city.
It's only like a major city. It's almost like it's like crazy up there. But okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll start with the flight in.
Yeah.
Get there.
Let's go with that.
And nothing happened.
No, just fucking.
Sunday was chill. We went and I came up with another coworker. We flew in, got the car, went to the hotel, and then I think we went out to dinner.
You went to Buffalo Wild that night.
Yeah. Did I tell you about how we fucking ran into
manager.
some warehouse guys? I'm like, how the fuck? But then we were joking about it, and it's like the safe haven for the company that we work for is Buffalo Wild Wings. Because all of us know it's consistent. Yeah. They always have the decent food. It's not the best.
They have $5 fucking Oktoberfest right now.
Oh, well. Yeah, but the one that we went to was shitty as fuck because it took forever for anything, dude.
Oh, welcome to Buffalo Wilds.
Yeah. No, this was, like, they had 6 people in the front and, like, one server.
Where you fucking order your food and you get it cold.
Yeah. It was crazy. But that was cool because we ran into a warehouse, 2 warehouse guys that were actually about to go into work. Yeah, so they're going into work, and we were coming to go eat dinner real quick. So we ate.
How can you eat before you go to work like that?
What do you mean? When you work overnight, you gotta eat. It's like eating breakfast,
dude,
but they're eating dinner.
Sluggish.
But so they ate, they did their thing. And then we went back to the hotel. I went to my room. He went to his room. That's it. Lights out. I didn't really do nothing. Talked to the kids for a little bit, and then went to bed. Like, I gotta get ready for the next morning. I am nervous.
Well, yeah. Set that alarm clock till 7 o'clock.
Oh, here we go.
I'm already done with my route by the time you wake up.
5:30 in the morning. I'm at work. We got there at 5:30 on Monday. It's fucking chaos. They're fucking
all over the place.
Everyone's all over the place. And then that's when they tell me, yeah, you're gonna be in a semi all week, and I'm like, okay. Like,
was it like usual paperwork like we get?
Yeah. I had a regular sheet, a manifest.
Same setup?
Yeah, same setup, straight down the line. I think it was like 300 cases that day. And
I bet it looked nice on paper, huh? You're like, fuck yeah!
Yeah, dude, I was like, oh man, I'll blow through this quick. I was like, honestly,
yeah, 300 cases, give me some more.
Honestly, I went, I don't even think I'll work 8 hours today. And then I was like, well, fuck this. Like, I don't know the city. Huh? I worked like 9 hours that day because of all the driving.
Well, yeah, but you waited for Frank that day. So for Monday wasn't too bad. I mean,
no, Monday I didn't wait. Monday, we got done at the same time. It was a really light day for everybody. They only did like 17,000 cases that day, which is, and for you fans, 17,000 cases is nothing. It's literally like 1,000 cases per person almost. Like, it's like nothing or less. But it was like an easy ass day. But I was like, I don't know the city, so I was like, hey, let me get a helper. So they gave me Gabriel, the guy I ended up working with on Friday as well. So we went and they gave me that dude, and I'm like, hey, do you know the city? He's like, nope. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Like,
what the fuck does he know?
Yeah, well, he
because
knew,
apparently he doesn't know shit.
He knew a couple stops here and there, but he's like, oh, I don't know a lot of this stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's like, in my mind, I was like, it's fine, because it's just an extra set of eyes. But it's an extra set of eyes that's never really fucking look the way that we look. It's an extra set of eyes that look like a regular driver. So I was like, whatever. Like, it's someone to bullshit with. It's something, it makes the stress go down.
Well, yeah.
And I was already stressed, because I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking terrified up there, dude.
Yeah,
to be driving a semi, and they're just like,
I felt that shit in my nutsack.
And
like when you were fucking talking about.
Dude, it was bad. Like, and so like the first day, like I was stressing the entire day. I parked far for a couple stops just because like I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't in the way. Being from down here in Southern California, we can't double park. You know, it's okay to balk a bus lane a little bit. Like if you leave some space for the bus lane, they don't really trip. Yeah. These bus lanes out there are huge because they're running the doubles.
Well, yeah, and they got that trolley.
The trolley and all that. So like we were going in, and I was going around and just like trying to stay out of everyone's way. That's where I fucked up. What I learned in San Francisco is, fuck you, just park. Yeah. Pull the brakes.
Put the hazards on and say,
that's
hey,
it.
Peace out.
So the first day, we knocked it out, but they gave us a gift card for food allowance. And I told homeboy, I was like, yo, dude, I'm going to feed you by the end of this day. Like, we're going to go in and we're going to have like something real to eat, not no snacks and shit like that. Like, I was no, this was Monday. Tuesday, I was by myself. So Monday, I was like, yo, I'm going to take you somewhere to get something to eat. And I was reading down the list, and I was like, we got a pizzeria at the end of the day, and we got a deli at the end of the day. So I was like, we'll figure it out between those two. Right, yeah. And so we get to the pizzeria, and they're not open. And I was like, motherfucker. So I guess we're getting the deli. And we were in a pretty nice area. Like the early morning to afternoon, it was easy. We didn't have anything to stress on. Like, we just knocked it out. It was nothing crazy happened. We were in the ghetto, but I mean, it was like whatever. It was a day at work.
Yeah.
So we get to the deli. It's my last stop, and dude, this place was fucking disgusting.
Really, the deli? Dude,
think of like one of your Oriental customers. Like that, like their deli. It was like a Sunshine Market. Like they had a cold case 74. Of food already in there, and like they're like, oh yeah. And I was like, I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I said, we are not eating here. And I felt bad because like I was like, well shit, dude. Like now I'm not gonna fucking buy this kid something to eat. So we fucking knocked out that account. It was one pallet. We think we did it in like 15 minutes. We knocked that shit out super quick. And then I was like, all right, well, fuck it. It's time to go back to the yard. Maybe we'll catch something on the way back to the yard. I pull up the GPS, and I look at the maps, and I'm like, no way. And I didn't know where it was until I looked at the map. And I was right at the top of the PCH.
That was the Monday that you got?
That was Monday. Dude, I did the PCH like 4 times.
No, but is that when you got the... No, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay. So we go and we take the PCH. It was beautiful. I took it slow. I took it like 35, 40 miles per hour just because of how beautiful it was. And then, no, that was it. That was the day. We didn't do nothing. We didn't get nothing to eat or anything.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that wasn't the day you got burgers. Because that was Tuesday.
No, that was Wednesday.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, they sent me by myself. They give me all these fucking drops. And I was like, dude, 5 drops, 3 workers, 8 stops? Man, I ain't going to work 8 hours again. No, I did like 12. I did like 12 hours that day. That was a late day. That day, because the thing that out here that you don't realize out there is different is, you know, I could do 12 stops in 6 hours out here easily. On my given Tuesday,
well, yeah.
I get 12 stops and I'm done in the morning by like 10:30, and I'm driving back by 10:30 at the latest.
But now you got.
But now I got 30 minutes. Like, it takes 15 minutes per mile. That's the easiest way to figure it out. It's 15 minutes per mile. And I was going and driving like all over the place. And they don't have a person to route you. So, like, you got these guys that are in the warehouse that are like, oh, yeah, I'll tell you how to do it. And they'll tell you, like, oh, hit this, hit this, hit this. But the way they were explaining it, it's like I would have to tear my whole entire truck apart and put it back together.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I saw my truck had 16 pallets on it. So I had No. I had a reload that day. That's what I had. I didn't have...
Yeah, for 2 fucking pallets.
Yeah, I had a reload for 2 pallets. And that was the stupidest shit because they told me to go do my drops and then come back to get my reload and then go do my reload and all my extra stops on the back end. Which I did exactly what they told me to. But it was so stupid to go back for a fucking reload for 2 stops. But they still turned my pallets sideways.
Yeah, so it made all different.
So it's all, and their pallet jacks are longer than our pallet jacks. So it's like, it's super hard.
Moving around in
Dude,
the truck.
the time that is wasted out there.
Actually, I just thought about
ridiculous.
that. Side note, we're supposed to be getting the long pallet jacks, and I just thought about that too. Like, how are we gonna move around in that fucking truck?
Why would we get long ones? The short ones are perfect. We already break pallets with our short ones. The long ones just make it harder.
We just need better pallets. That's it. We just need fucking better pallets.
Yeah, well, when they find out about how, dude, if you're on a hill and you get caught up, that pallet fucking falls forward. It happened to me a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, it falls off the pallet, so it's shitty. So, but I run through Tuesday. I have drops, and I'm like, I'm gonna bust these fucking drops out like crazy. And the manager was like, oh, I ran that route, it's easy. And so I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to know nothing. So I go to the first stop. It was a Safeway, small Safeway in a residential area, but I'm in a small truck, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll knock that bitch out quick. So luckily I got in before a lot of cars were in the parking lot. And the way that it's set up is when you pull it up on the maps, there's a fucking parking lot on top of the fucking building. They park on top of the building.
What? That's
The
crazy.
dock is to the left, or to the right of the building. So you have to go
Like
through
in
the
the
parking
front?
lot. Yeah, and you have to go through the parking lot, straighten it out, and then back
Like how
it
Big
in.
Bear is? You ever done Big Bear?
Nah.
ones?
But it's still, I mean, it's not tricky, but you couldn't see it on the map. And so I get there, knocked that out in 10 minutes. That one was a super quick one. Easiest stop of the day. And then I'm like, okay, I got 2 Whole Foods. And I was like, okay, let's be smart with it. So I start calling these accounts because no one told me how to hit these docks, and I'm looking them up, and I'm like, shit, how am I going to hit this? So I call the account, and the account's like, the first one's like, oh yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to go onto the street behind us, and that's where our dock is. It's not even a dock, it's a back door. Go to the street behind them and go through the back door. So I'm like, okay. I'm getting there. It's a residential street. And you got to go to the residential street and fucking open the door and then bring the pallet up a hill into the back room. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. It's only 1 pallet, so I'll get in and get out.
Yeah.
In which I did. And so then I asked him, hey, dude, what about the next Whole Foods? And he's like, you might want to call him. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, that one's kind of fucked. And I was like, oh, great. So this is the one that I posted about. This one, I called them up. They're like, hey, where are you at? And I told them, they're like, okay, you want to come down to Market Street. You're going to turn right onto 14th Street. Get to the left lane, and then come get me. And I'm like, okay, that's odd, but that's fine. So I went and I passed it the first time. So I had to do a loop and come back. Because 14th Street is like, seriously, like you go 16th, 15th, and then you go around the corner to get on Market Street, and then like it's the immediate right. Like you have to take it quick, and not knowing where I was, and I was flustered and all that. I passed it, so I was like, okay, I have an idea of what to do, so no problem. So I go back around, do the loop, and I go and I do exactly what he said, and then I see the opening, and I'm like, oh fuck! I was like, backing into a building, and I was like, fuck! And I pull the brakes, hit the hazards, and I get out and I look at it, and I'm like, fuck, dude, this is gonna be fucking hard. And I go inside, and I'm like, oh, hey, is Rick here? And they're like, oh, he's upstairs. And I'm like, fuck. Okay. I was like, well, can you guys let him know I'm here? And they're like, yeah. So I go and I walk back to the truck, and the light behind me was red for a bit. It gave me a good chunk of time. So I'm like, I could do this. And so there's cars on the opposite side of the street lining, like, on the parking lot. Like, they park there on the side of the street. And so it's a 1, 2, think it's a 3-lane street. It might be a 2 or 3 lane street. It's not huge at all. And so, and I already put my trailer. I'm like, my tractor is halfway in the opening. So like, I don't have a lot of wiggle room to go and execute it. So I went and I saw I had a break in the traffic. So I just fucking went for it. And I was like, fuck it. So I pulled out and I went at an angle and I set the back of my trailer up to go towards the thing, but it wasn't all the way in. And I was like, fuck. Okay, well, I'll just jackknife it a little bit. So as I'm jackknifing it, motherfuckers are passing the nose of my truck. And I'm like swinging.
You still gotta swing around.
And I gotta swing and get it in. And then these motherfuckers are bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, fuck. But I go and I get it. And I'm like, I straighten out and I'm like, in this one swoop, I'm just go like, whoop. In and I'm going back, and then all of a sudden in my mirror I see a dude sashaying his way out.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
I'm like,
got you, bro.
I'm like, what the fuck? And he's got a big ass stop sign, and he walks out, and he's like sashaying, and he goes, whoop, and he holds the stop sign up like goddamn Michael Jackson, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, no way. And then he yells, you hit that good, and I was like, oh, that must be Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, whatever, we're good. So I'm going and I'm backing it up, and then he stops me and he goes, you're really close to the pole, and like, you and I know.
Yeah.
I could, once I'm in, I know what I'm doing.
Once you see it, it's like,
all I had to do was just maneuver a little bit to the left, and I was going to do it. It's just you gotta wiggle yourself into these docks.
Yeah, well, line yourself up in the mirrors.
And the dock is the hard part is you can't really see because it's so dark inside and it's so bright outside. So it's really hard to adjust. And I forgot to mention that the dock was at an angle. It wasn't at a perfect 90 from the street. It was at an angle. So I had to go and like when I angled it in and got in, I was trying to make sure that I was at that same angle to make the trailer right. So he's like, you're gonna have to pull forward, and I was like, that's fine, I'll do a pull up. So he goes and he walks back, sashays back into the street, stops traffic, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that guy's on it.
Dude, I was cracking up. But I was like, hey, you know what? I've dealt with gay people. I don't care what their preferences. I don't give a shit. Like, it's funny. So I was more laughing at the fact that how enthusiastic and how into it he was. And I was just like, okay, whatever, dude. I was cracking up. And so I go and I pull forward and straighten out again, and I back out. Or back in.
Back in, yeah.
And then we're good. Get out of the truck. And then all of a sudden, I swear to God, dude, it was almost like I only went to a store full of gay people. Because every single employee was walking by me with like rainbows and this and that. And like, I wasn't uncomfortable. I was just like, whatever. Like, I was like, okay, just make sure you don't say anything to offend anyone. In my mind, that's all I was thinking was, okay, just don't talk about stupid shit. Just go and talk shit on regular stuff. So I was just talking shit on regular stuff the whole time, and we were all having a good time and chopping it up, and they're asking, where are you from? And I told them, like, I kept telling everybody, like, I'm from the Palm Springs area.
Well, everybody knows.
Yeah, everyone knows Palm Springs. So I'm like, oh, from the Palm Springs area. So, of course, they're like, oh, we've been to Palm Springs. And I'm like, yep. I was like, I've delivered on that street.
Oh, yeah. Job Phil.
So, you know, it's whatever. And then I get done with the account. Super easy. Just check it in, get out. And then I go on to the next fucking set of stops and just boom, boom, boom. Knock out the day. I think that was like the craziest part of my entire Tuesday was that dock. After that, like I felt like my balls grow like 3 times bigger because it's like the confidence level. And when you're driving a truck, you got to be very humble. You got to know like your skill, and you're not supposed to overreach what you can and can't do. Yeah. And it's really humbling to go and do shit like that. So I actually did take a step back. I was like, okay, breathe. Every situation I got myself into, take a deep breath. You could do it. Just go in and take your time. And that's what I did do. And like I didn't spend like 20 minutes doing stuff. I spent like 5 minutes doing stuff. But I had to go and make sure I was taking my time to do it and enjoy these moments at the same time, because like I knew I wasn't gonna have time to sightsee, so I had to enjoy sightseeing from the truck. So like I have pictures in my phone, all that truck level and shit. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
because it's like I was just like I have to do it in the truck.
Yeah.
But so I get done with the day, and I'm like, well, the PCH was really fucking peaceful. So I drove over to the PCH again and fucking drove it down. And like the chaos of the city, you can't breathe driving in there. Like that's how tight people are. Like you're breathing the guy next to you. Like it's super tight. People are moving fast. You got pedestrians walking in and out of the street. You know, I was in the ghetto all 5 days. So I nothing specific happened in the ghetto that day. I got in, I got out.
No hookers?
I didn't see hookers. I just saw a bunch of malnourished homeless people. So I was like,
should have brought one of them in the trailer.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
didn't run into them. So
Close the door, the lights are off.
oh, here we go. They're all guys shooting in the dark. So we go and
All assholes are the same.
oh, that's disgusting. So I knocked that shit out. Knockout Tuesday. I get back to the yard at like 6 o'clock at night. It was late for me. That was late. And what did I do? I think I went straight to the hotel.
Yeah, didn't you? And then you had to go pick up your buddy at like 8.
Yeah, I had to pick him up at 8 o'clock at night. And with that, guys, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We just got to the ranch. I wanted to finish that story.
Yeah.
We actually got to go to work, but to be continued. We'll finish out the day when we're done on the drive back.
Yeah.
So you'll see different shirts,
Yep.
brighter outside. Probably gonna be tired a little bit, but yeah, it's time for us to go to work. So for now, we'll be back.
Enjoy this commercial. Flashlights.
Take 3.
A little bit more.
I think that's good.
All right, everybody, we're back.
We're back at it
Change our
again.
clothes, like DM said.
Get your liquid death on. I did it one-handed.
I did too. All right, so back to where we were.
We're on Tuesday. Tuesday's done.
Yeah, great. Here we go on to Wednesday.
Let's go into Wednesday. Wednesday, they set me up with this big fucking... I thought he was Samoan. Come to find out he was a Mexican. Nothing wrong with Mexicans, nothing wrong with Samoans, but...
Just thought he was fucking eating pineapple instead of tacos.
that's all it is. So, first things first, we go and we hit the road. We first stop in the hood, as always. Nothing wrong with that. They keep throwing me to the hood. So, his name's Ben. So I'm taking Big Ben with me, and we get greeted. First customers, crackheads, bums. Actually, inside the truck, as I'm pulling up, I look out the truck. Guys are hitting the crack pipe. Right on the street. Right on the street. Hit the first stop, easy money. Go to the second stop. We get there, and all of a sudden I fucking hear. I turn around, fucking dude on a motorcycle gets hit by a car. Then these old men, 2 old black guys are like, "What up, motherfucker?" And I'm all, "What up, motherfuckers?" And I start talking shit with them and chopping it up because everyone knows that old black guy has seen some shit, and he's gonna do one of 2 things. He's gonna try to test you,
Or he's gonna play chicken on the corn.
chicken on the corn. And guess what?
Yeah.
These motherfuckers were chicken on the corn the whole time, talking shit to each other. One old man was like, "Man, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna whoop your ass." And the other old man was like, "Man, you're gonna get up and I'm gonna put you back down on your ass."
They're like, "Hey man, down in Louisiana, down the evergreen trees."
They sound like them crows. Them quack, 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 quack. So these guys were churching it up, talking shit, whatever. We get done with the hood, and we're running through the stops. We got these fucking stops on hills, like straight up. I was parked like this, parked like this, like it's nuts. We had a pallet almost tip over, and homeboy's like, "Oh fuck, what are we gonna do?" And I was like, "Man," I was like, "You don't know about pallets. Don't you worry about pallets tipping over." I was like, that shit ain't gonna tip over." So I grabbed an empty pallet and I fucking slammed the shit out of it into the freaking pallet of beer trying to tip over, and put it back upright.
Yep.
And then
Push it in.
pushed it in. Got it done. Knocked out the day, and then we get to the last stop, and I'm like, "Oh, we got to get something to eat." Because I like to go and feed people when they work with you. You got to show them respect, you know? And the company gave me a little card to use for the week for food, and I'm like, "Yo, you're in it just as deep as I am." So I went and I was like, let's look up some burger places. So we look up a burger place at the last stop. And I was like, you know what? I'm double parked. No, I was parked in a no parking zone. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to park here. I'm going to run this stop. Why don't you go walk down a couple blocks to the burger place and pick us up some burgers and then come back up and then we'll take off and we'll park somewhere and eat. So when we were bullshitting about where to park, I was like, have you ever been down to PCH? And he's like, what's that? And so I was like, the Pacific Coast Highway, Highway 1. He's like, nah, I've never been there. I was like,
here we go.
We're going to the PCH. So I pulled it up in the maps, and we went to the PCH, the top of the PCH, and worked our way down. But at the top, we pulled over, took a 10-minute break real quick, and grubbed down. Doop, 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 doop. Took a couple videos, took some pictures. We were just laughing, chopping it up. And then I'm like, all right, time to go back. So I'm driving back. This motherfucker, man, gets his little jacket and he lays his little head down. And I'm like, how are you going to disrespect me like this? So instead, my phone was all hooked up. So I told him that, hey, told him how to do it. I told him to call Michael. So I actually talked to Michael while this motherfucker fell asleep while I was driving. Disrespect. Straight disrespect. If you're ever riding co-pilot, don't fall asleep, man. That's just straight disrespect.
He pulled the Michael move on you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. So we get into Thursday. Wednesday was just in the ghetto. It is what it is. Wednesday's where I got my bearings. I felt really good about driving that day. Monday and Tuesday was very stressful. I was worried about wires, trees, cars, pedestrians, almost hitting people. Wednesday, I found my bearings and I got really comfortable. Then they put me on Thursday. My first 3 stops, the financial district. You know what the financial district is?
No, like Wall Street shit.
Wall Street shit. Exactly what you think. Business people walking up and down the street, boom, 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 all crazy. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna knock this shit out quick. I want to get in and get out of the financial district. And I started going to work, and I knocked out the first stop was a Walgreens, where I had to park a block away, walk up the street with a freaking pallet of beer, big ass pallet of beer. And these motherfuckers go, okay, we gotta throw it down the chute. They open up a big old laundry chute type deal, and I start freaking passing the cases to the manager, and the manager's hucking it to the employee down at the bottom of the laundry chute, and he's catching them.
That's what's up.
That's crazy.
That's shit.
And then I get to the next couple stops. I got so upset, man, because I saw Homeless Steve. I told you about Homeless Steve.
Blue's Clues.
Everyone knows Blue's Clues, guy with green and blue. This motherfucker, man, looking like Steve. Bowl cut, hair down like this, homeless and shit. And I wanted to get a picture of him, but I didn't want to make it obvious. Every time I saw a homeless person, I didn't want to make it obvious, bringing my phone out and stuff. It's just it's disrespectful. But I was still laughing my ass off.
That's good shit, though.
Yeah. Thursday was cool because I just went and I busted out my route. And when I got back, I hit up the homeboy that came out with me, and we were sharing a car. They're like, yo, where you be at? And he's like, oh, I still got like 2 more stops. And I was like, fuck this, I'm getting an Uber. And I just took an Uber back to the hotel. I was like, I don't got time for this shit. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So, and then we get into Friday. Thursday, uneventful again. Get the route done. All that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, tons of driving, guys. I'm doing what I normally do on a Friday, which is when I do 200 miles. I'm doing that amount of seat time on these days where I only did like 55 miles per day.
Yeah.
I gotta do nothing. Friday, I walk into the office. I got 11 hours left of the work week, which is pretty fucked up to going in on Friday with 11 hours, especially doing 12-hour days. I'm like, whatever. Get my paperwork, 4 drops, 2 workers, and then come back for a reload. Or no, 3 workers, and then come back for a reload for 2 more workers. It's 9 stops. And I'm like, this is stupid. So I had someone write down how to run my route, like in the order. And I took my entire truck apart. I said, fuck it. I'm going to go and build this truck perfectly so that way I could just, for efficiency.
Knock it out.
Yeah. And I go and I pull everything out, boom, 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 boom. I start putting it back together. And this manager comes up in a forklift, and he goes, I have a set of kegs double stacked on 2 pallets. And this guy comes over to separate it, and I go, no, leave it where it's at. And he's like, why? I was like, because it's for Bevmo. I know exactly where it's going. I want it to be together so it takes less space in the truck, and I'll separate it later. It's fine. I could take the kegs off. So then homeboy backs up and lowers the forks, and he goes to pick up the whole entire stack of kegs, and I'm like, the fuck are you doing? And so I actually start cussing at this dude. I'm like, put the fucking kegs down, leave me the fuck alone, leave my beer alone. Like, I'm fucking putting my truck back together. And he's like, well, I'm here to help. And I was like, well, it's a little fucking late now, isn't it? I got 11 hours and you guys want to fucking help? I was so pissed, because it's like, it's very stressful when they give you a shitload of work to do, and then you have a certain amount of hours you can do it in. And it's like, with 11 hours, knowing that I'm spending like 4 to 5 hours inside the truck, navigating through traffic and this and that, plus I got to do the stops, it's unrealistic. And come back for a reload and then go back out. The reload itself, if I would have had to go there and back, is an hour of just drive time, not including actually putting in the work. So I took off one of the stops that was on my original load to make room on the truck for everything to fit properly, so I could get in and get out. And I left it with the reload. Well, I'm running through the stop, get the first one done, get to the second one, and they call me, hey, we took care of your reload. And I was like, all 3 stops? They're like, yup. And I went, good, thank goodness. And so then I had Gabriel back with me, the guy I had from Monday, and I go, hey, you hungry? And he's like, whatever, I could eat. And I was like, good, we're going to go to our next stop, we're going to knock it out, then we're going to clock a lunch, and we're going to go sit down and eat. So we went to Bevmo, the next stop, 2 pallets. It was a pallet and 4 kegs. Dropped the pallet, both of us ran the kegs inside, boom, boom, run in, run out.
Easy money.
Easy money. And then I go, let's go, put the hand trucks away, clock a lunch, and go next door to a diner.
Hell yeah.
Sat down, I was like, this is how we do. Taught that kid, like, when you go and you work with somebody, you get fed, you treat them with respect.
Help them out,
you know,
a little bit of action.
Yeah. Sad thing is they made me disrespect them, because after I got done running my route, I dropped his ass off with another driver and said, deuce, I got a fucking podcast to film. So then we knocked out the route quick between the 2 of us. And that's when this motherfucker decides to tell me he's never heard of freaking Metallica and shit. Disrespectful, this bastard. And then I got done, drove back to the yard, did my paperwork. I didn't even say goodbye. I just walked right out. Alright guys, well, it's not a good day. So on Sunday we were recording and my phone got hot or something happened and we lost like 15 minutes of ending. So this is me going and saying thank you for watching. Do what you normally do. Subscribe, tag, comment, follow, all that crap. Help us help you. We started this whole new truck cab confessional, so make sure you guys go in and check those out. And if you could, just make a confession of yourself. I mean, shit, it's nothing serious. It's just something to goof around with. Make sure you tag us in it at Can't Quit My Day Job Podcast on Instagram. We'll be more than happy to go and share it, like it, comment, all that stuff. You know, it's something silly, something to get everyone interacting with each other. We got a couple new fans from last week because of going on the local non-union podcast, which was freaking awesome and amazing. Make sure you check him out if you want. Look up the video on his Spotify or wherever you listen to iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just check him out. Cool dude, really cool dude. You literally heard like 95% of our conversation that day, because on that recording he just hit record, and then when we ended he paid the tab and we dropped him off at his truck, took a picture and said, hey, have a good day, man, have a great day, drive safe, all that. So very awesome, amazing experience overall with San Francisco. I'll go back. I was saying all week I wouldn't, but I'll go back. So yeah, Thank you guys for sticking it through, watching all of our stuff, and yeah, next week we're gonna go and plan on doing a podcast on Halloween because we're getting into that time of year. So we want to talk about past Halloween experiences. If you guys have any ideas, hit us up. It'd be funny to go and share some stories. Otherwise, we'll just share our stories. I got a couple in the bank that I already know that I want to talk about because I did some stupid stuff during Halloween time. So other than that, guys, thank you so much as always. And yeah, hit us up.